spins right, comes back left. Nani shoots. Oh my goodness, Luis Nani! Here goes Daryl DK at Warmhorn. DK shoots, scores! DK wins it for Orlando! The biggest man in MLS comes up huge!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lions Blog Podcast. I am your host, Gavin and we have another scouting video coming your way today. As by the title, you know it's going to be Gaston Gonzalez. Hopefully we don't jinx it. Everything looks like it's ready. Everything looks like it's good. We didn't jinx Facundo Torres or Ercan Kara, for that matter. Both ended up signing, and we released the videos before they officially were announced. Everything looks set to go with Gaston Gonzalez, and I'm pretty confident that we are going to secure his signature. Here to go through the video with me today is our old friend, Adam the Great. Hello, Adam.
Hello. I'm going to do a heel turn like Nate the Great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start a new podcast.
No, don't leave me. Stranded.
All jokes.
Chase and Daniel? How could you? We need somebody to, set us all straight.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that.
Totally.
So before we get started on the video, I wanted to just have a quick little chat about what happened 2 days ago now at the scrimmage, or it might have been yesterday morning. Ercan Kara obviously having to come off the field injured and then going on a golf cart because he couldn't put any pressure on his leg. So obviously Orlando City are never, ever, what's the word I'm looking for? Open?
Going to tell us anything?
Yeah, they're not going to tell us anything. They're not open with the injury side of things. I mean, Pato was questionable the entire season last season. So how are you feeling about the injury? Are you really nervous that he's going to be out for a long time, or do you think it was probably precautionary and we could see him back in a couple weeks?
I think somewhere in between there. Honestly, the word on the street from just word trickling out from people is that it's an ankle injury, which could either be not that bad in the span of like a month to 6 weeks, or it could be hopefully not Achilles related, in which case it would be the entire season. But if he was walking, it's probably not his Achilles. It really is. We don't know because we're not doctors and we didn't do an examination of him. We don't have official word from the club, but I think that we would know something if it were more serious by now. Probably. We got 3 weeks until the season starts anyway. He could be back, game 4. So I think it's definitely not time to panic on him.
Yeah.
Definitely not let's start looking at midseason replacements. If he's still out week 10, then yeah, then we have reason to worry. But I think he'll be back after the first few games. And we got Tesho. I know no one wants to hear it, but Tesho is a good backup to fill in for a few games. Pato is obviously a capable striker. Benji can play there if need be. We got Jacqueline, it's going to be okay for a few games.
Yep, and that's the reason we have depth. I'm not too worried about it. I put out a tweet basically saying that I think it was a precautionary move. Look, the video looks horrible. He can't walk on it. But in the moment, it's going to hurt the most, and you're not going to put pressure on. You're not going to be able to put pressure on it. In the final of MLS Cup, there was a 5-minute period where Maxi Morales looked like he couldn't continue. He could not walk on his leg. He was stumbling all over the place, and he just finished the whole entire 120 minutes and took a penalty in the shootout. So stuff hurts in the moment, and players can get over it. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. That no, there's nothing wrong and he could have kept playing. First of all, I wouldn't have wanted him to keep playing. It's preseason. Let's not do that. But also, I think that you're right, Adam. I think at most it'll be a couple month injury, 6 to 8 week injury, unless it is Achilles, but obviously we don't know. But I'm going to stray on the side of it's not, just to speak that into existence.
Yeah.
And because I'm really excited to see him play. And just I'm not too worried, even if it is long term. We have Pato, we have Tesho, we have Jacqueline. It sucks, but he's a long term project. He's not here to be here for 2 years. So it would suck for half the season to have him gone. But at the end of the day, the idea I think is to have him here for 3, 4, 5 years and have him leading our line. For 6 months out would be awful for our chances this season, but he would still be there to help us finish out the season. I don't think it's time to go looking for new strikers. Let's stick with what we got, and let's let Oscar Pereira figure it out if it is long term. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think it was more precautionary than anything, and it just hurt in the moment.
And honestly, like, about Chankara, like, before the injury, it did seem like he was, getting along well with his teammates. Seems like he was starting to build a little chemistry. We heard about, a couple of preseason goals he was involved in. I think he scored one and assisted one, if I remember correctly.
I don't know if he scored one, but I know he assisted within the first 2 minutes.
Didn't he score the first one at Oh no! Did he score the first? The first one in Minnesota?
He ran down the line, and then put in a cross for Benji Michel, and he slotted it home.
And he missed a penalty,
and then Kara missed a penalty. Yeah, so
right.
Orlando City
already.
Yeah.
But no, I am excited to see him, and it was good to see him, integrating well with his teammates. So get well soon, Erchan, and we will see you on the pitch.
Yes. So. On to the topic of the day, Gaston Gonzalez. I'm just going to start with this. Gonzalez is a left winger. I know Transfermarkt has him as a right winger. Every single time he's on the pitch, from what I've seen, he's on the left. And the way he plays, he's a left-footed, out-and-out winger. Runs straight, directly straight, up and down. He's not a cut inside type player on the left, at least. Maybe when he gets shifted over to the right, he does like to cut in, but on the left, he's a straight line runner. So expect to see a left winger here, not a right winger. So let me get in here. Adam, you can see this all right?
Yep.
All right. That means the viewers can see it all right. So that's exciting. The first clip here, as we go ahead and start, is him playing defense. So this is a 11.5-minute video, so we're just going to pause as we go, Adam. So the first bit of it is I watched the entire game, Union versus Union de Santa Fe versus Cologne. And this was basically decision day for them. This was win and you're in, or lose and you're out, because they were right on the bubble of their playoffs or whatever the competition they were trying to get into. So this is a big match. This is also clearly a big rivalry and a very aggressive game. And he does well in this game. He actually gets a goal and I believe an assist, or helps in one of the goals. So let's go ahead and start this. So there he is. He's number 15. He's making the tackle here. Definitely a player who comes back and helps on defense. That's something you're going to see a lot.
That's probably why Oscar Pereira loves him.
Yep, that is exactly why. So here he is on the ball.
Carrying up the left wing.
And I think he dribbles out here.
Yeah.
Something I noticed about this league from the games I watched a couple games, but only clipped up this one, and then a couple highlights at the end, is this is a very aggressive league. A lot of fouls that would be called fouls here aren't called over in Argentina. Oh, this is just their goal. I thought this was a cool free kick routine. But they have no space on the wings. So here he is in these first two clips, like getting the ball, and there is somebody on top of him all the way out to the end line. I mean, they make you fight for every single inch over there. So that was something I wanted to point out. And then the free kick routine, he has literally nothing to do with, but I just wanted to show it because I think it's a pretty cool goal. I just love that. And then they just run off. So here he is on the left. And I think he puts a cross in. Yeah.
A good cross.
He's a crosser. Here he is on the left again. He's going to put in another cross, I think. I don't know. Yeah, kind of a cross.
Yeah, cross.
Yeah. So he's not afraid to use his right foot, but to me, this kind of looked like a shot that ended up in the his teammate's path, versus trying to make that pass.
I don't know. I mean, cutting back maybe looks like it's one of those Schrosses,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good at corners, by the way. So that was him taking the corner kick. Here he is helping out on defense, making a tackle.
He seems like the Chris Mueller replacement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except on the left.
Yeah. Well, Torres is the Nani replacement. He's on the right, so.
Yeah. So they just flip sides, basically. So I wanted to point this out here. He's right here, okay? And he's just tracking back, and he's pretty quick. But the main thing I wanted to point out is he gets sucked into these areas as a left winger a lot in this part of the pitch. And he leaves space out open over there. Another thing I noticed when watching these games is this league is not as tactically strict as I would say the MLS. Oh my God, I said it. I never say the MLS, but as MLS is, I'm awful. Someone kill me. And so I'm a little worried about that. And I wonder if that's why we've seen players struggle coming from the Argentinian league to MLS. Players like Barco and PT Martinez, because it's a little bit less structured over in Argentina than it is here. And the attackers aren't used to not having as much space. That being said, Miguel Almiron came from Argentina as well, but he was clearly destined to go to the top. So that's just something to think about with Gonzalez. There he is, struggling to defend a set piece. I think when Eddie and I did the DeSantos video, Adam, he brought up our set piece defending from 2 seasons ago. And I was like, oh my God, having like Vietnam flashbacks. And here he is again, getting kind of bullied.
That's an underrated coaching job by Pareja, was fixing that this past season with the same pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty comfortable on set piece defense. I mean, if you go all the way back to 2020 when, we lost to Portland in the final.
Yeah, because of set piece defense.
Yeah. It's a horrible pass. Not a horrible
and
pass.
And that seemed like that was the beginning of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that wasn't a foul. That would have been a penalty here.
Yeah.
So here he is, kind of straight line running here.
Yeah.
What does he do? Oh, he tries to get past him, but he gets tackled.
Classic Chris Mueller.
Yep. Looking for combination.
Have you seen that meme? The Chris Mueller woke up feeling dangerous today meme about his debut.
Yes, I did.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, Chris. We're here to talk about Gonzalez,
It's the same player.
Who is the Chris Mueller replacement. So here he is. Look where he is. I keep trying to use my fingers again. So he's all the way up here, sees it, and instantly wants to go back and press in the midfield. I can tell why this group really liked him. This group being Rico and Muzi. Yeah. So here he is again, Adam, this next clip here, getting sucked in. So this is him.
There.
Now, obviously the guy doesn't shot. Everything's fine, but
he does not need to be there. There's a defender and a midfielder right there.
Does that worry you, or do you think Pareja can kind of structure?
He's going to have to coach it out of him. You can't do that.
Yeah.
straight up can't do that because then like these teams with DP wingers, like when we go against Toronto, Insigne is going to eat them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of my biggest worries with him is, look, it's great you're helping to help. It's great that you're willing to help out on defense, but if you're cutting in like that, you're leaving our left back exposed, because our left back's supposed to be the one collapsing and he's supposed to be back here.
Yeah.
So
that is a good point about this league, is he's going to need to understand the structural integrity of the tactics much better than he appears to right now.
Yeah. Now, the good thing is he's so willing to help out. So here he is there. He's so willing to help out on defense and will drop so deep in this team's tactics that when they do go on the counter, and there's his assist for the goal, he's the one taking the set piece. Good set piece right there. Perfect area.
It's good delivery.
Yeah, he's got good delivery. I think that's him clearing the ball. But what I was going to say is he sits so deep on this left side to come back and help on defense that when a transition moment does arrive, and we will see this, I think later on near the end when we see the highlights, he is so far behind that he is like sprinting forward into so much space that he arrives late to the attack. So let's say Mauricio Pereira's in that zone 14 on the transition, on the counter. Pereira's here, and Gaston Gonzalez will be just this little bit behind him, and Pereira can then play him into space. I think it is a positive thing that he comes back so deep, and he's very quick. I wouldn't say Juan quick, but he might be our third or fourth fastest player in the team. So here he is, right here. This is what I mean. So you see how deep he was? That he's got that space to run into.
And he's not going to be marked.
Yeah, and there's plenty of space over there.
Yeah.
So he does that quite
pass
a bit.
Needs more quality.
Yeah, the pass sucked. But the reason I showed that clip was to show exactly this kind of speed. So that's him clearing the ball. And there he is. Sprinting past people.
See that
into space.
There's no marker that's going to get to him.
Yeah,
he would have been in on goal.
Yeah,
that is a good asset.
And that he does that a lot. As soon as there's a transition, he's gone. Like we're going straight to goal. Kind of like how Araujo, as soon as he won the ball, he wanted to go forward. As soon as Gaston Gonzalez's teammate wins the ball, his first thought is, I'm sprinting down this left-hand side to give them an option. So here he is helping out in defense again.
Yeah.
So where is he? There he is. His teammate won the ball. He's 20.
Okay.
And that's something else I wanted to bring
up.
He's got a good physical profile for a 20-year-old.
That was a nice dribble.
It was, yeah.
See, to me, he is 24-year-old, 25-year-old Chris Mueller as a 20-year-old.
Yeah, and that's why he's so highly regarded, I think.
Yeah.
So there he is. Teammate wins the ball back, instantly looking to go forward, gets himself into a decent amount of space, then beats this guy 1v1.
Yeah, that's much better. And he's already using his right foot.
Yeah. Now he's a little different. He's similar in the defensive aspect of, obviously Chris Mueller is willing to help out on defense, but he's different in the fact that Chris Mueller obviously really liked combination play, and this guy just clearly screams out and out winger.
He just goes. There's less hesitation to his game.
Yeah.
He makes a decision and he fully commits to it very quickly. I don't know how great he fits into how I think we want to play at the moment. So I think he fits into it as like a transition piece, like literally that straight line runner. What do you think? Yeah, I think he's obviously Poppy likes his defense, and on offense he's going to have immediate use, but once we settle into that, I think maybe he's going to hang back a little bit and like look for runs to make, and then have Moutinho play that that more possession role on the left, which again we're relying on Moutinho, which I hate.
Yeah.
But we don't have, assuming we want to play a more possession oriented style, we're going to need someone on that left side who's comfortable possessing the ball and then moving it quickly. And if you look at some of the clips that we've seen from preseason games, it's been a lot of tiki-taka. It's boom, 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 in. And I don't think that's his play style unless he's going to, if we got a box like right there. What did that backwards go me? If we got like that box, he's going to hang around like right there and look for a way to cut in, while Moutinho is going to be about like right here, and he's going to be more the dinking around the outside. And maybe that's where he fits when we're in possession.
So something I want to bring up about that is I was talking to Cleon and over at Orlando Lions Den podcast, and I was asking him about the scrimmage, and he said that it looked a lot when we had the ball that we had like a 3-2-5 setup with the three at the back being one of them being João Moutinho, which I thought was very interesting.
Well, he did play center back at Akron.
He did. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I found that really interesting because usually
it's certainly not going to be Juan.
No. But usually João Moutinho is the overlapping left back. He's the one going into the offense. Is the plan then to have the three at the back and the 3-2-5 buildup be João Moutinho, Janssen, and Carlos, with Gonzalez being that left fifth channel player? And then you would think, Pereira and Cara will take up 4 and 3, and then 2 and 1 would be Facundo Torres, and then Juan on the far right, if you can imagine that left to right, the 5 zones. So that's where I think he fits in. Now maybe he does, what you said, that was just Pareja trying something out. And we see João Moutinho who's overlapping, and Gaston Gonzalez be in that box you were talking about, cutting in a little bit more and giving space on the wing for João Moutinho. So it's interesting to see how he's gonna be brought into the system in the summer.
Here's the thing I struggle with is we see a lot of him here carrying the ball up that left side and putting it across, and that's all well and good. That is a completely different style than it seems that we want to play with a bunch of ball dominant players. Like, are we really going to, if you're thinking about our offensive options, right? We already have that option, Juan, by the way. That option's already present on the team. And
on the right.
On the right, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but that gives us balance.
And that option is already present on the team as a choice of attack, right? When you attack, you have choices of how you want to do it. We could go through Mauricio Pereira. We could go through Sylvester Vanderwater. We could go through Facundo Torres. Like, those are 3 ball dominant players that have much more technical skill than this guy appears to have. That can, and then you have guys like Mendez, Araujo, and Urso that are capable of advancing the ball and playing that quick combination play. When you have the option of doing that, and then your other option is, let's give it to this 20-year-old guy who knows how to run straight and put in a pretty ball. It doesn't fit.
Well, I think it does.
I don't think it does.
Because I think it brings a balance to the attack. Because you and I were talking about we need runners. Okay. Who is Facundo and Pereira going to pass the ball to? They can't
Benji
only
Michel.
have. Well, this is Benji Michel on the left, but better. Right, but so Gaston Gonzalez is a more threatening.
I don't know have we seen
version of Benji.
Have we seen much of him getting onto the end of a ball here? Like I get
we will see that.
I get him being a runner in the counterattack, but like as far as I've seen so far, he's been the one who's just carrying the ball up left and putting it across.
Yeah, so there is trust me on this one. There is clips of him getting onto the end of balls. So this is just him helping out on defense. But going back to the main point, you can see the potential with the way he does his straight line running, that Juan on the right is someone that can get the ball up, just straight line run. And we've never really had that on the left. Benji's never been that straight line runner on the left. I think having Gaston Gonzalez on the left helps balance that and makes stretches teams. Because if we switch it one side to the other, they have to get all the way out to counter the threat of Juan getting in behind or Gaston Gonzalez getting in behind. So if we go over here, they have to go all the way over. Then we go all the way to the left, then they have to move all the way over and back and forth, back and forth.
If
Whereas
you're
before Nani, they only had to stop in the fourth channel.
If you're going to use he and Juan in tandem and try to stretch the field like that, then it makes more sense.
So I hope we do that. I think that would be the smartest way to do it.
If you're just going to send one of them at a time, all you got to do is stop that one guy, and then you've stopped the entire attack.
Exactly. Yeah. Most of the clips right now have been on defense because the Union's tactics in this game were very sit deep and counter. And I think throughout the season, that's what they were as well. Another really good ball. To me, I like the fact that we got in a good crosser of the ball, because it looked like we thought, okay, we just spent a bunch of money on a 6'4" attacker. Let's get the ball in the box for him. I think that's kind of what Gaston Gonzalez can do.
I don't think that would have been a problem with, because you got Vanderwater, Torres, Pereira, and Moutinho. Yeah. I don't think that would have been a problem.
Yeah. So here's kind of that getting on the end of the ball. It doesn't come off, it gets blocked, but this is kind of that get on the end of a ball sort of thing. And for his goal, it's very similar to that. He scores in like the last kick of the game. There he is again, playing defense. Again, this is where he could have got the ball. His teammates just didn't find him in time, and he kind of had to stop.
He should have just sprinted up the wing there. I don't know why he stopped.
Well, the ball was behind him. Oh, shoot. See, the ball was behind him, had to come get it.
Yeah, but he could have taken a much better first touch there.
Yeah, instead he takes on 3 guys and actually gets through them.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. It kind of actually, and then another bad first touch.
Yeah. What is this one?
Okay.
Beats him.
Yeah.
Oh, this is his goal. Okay.
Okay.
So this is his goal. What were you going to say?
I was looking at the wrong guy. That's a decent finish, but...
Yeah. So if we just kind of recycle this back... And this is literally like 48th minute of the second half. So, I mean, he's got good legs all the way at the end of the game still. He can be a 90-minute player.
That was good. Like, that's a little combo play. That makes me feel a little better about him.
Yeah. He will do that. You're right. He'll kind of pass it and then try to run off somebody.
Here's the thing. I like the potential that's there. I think he will get much less playing. So first of all, he's coming in May, so he's not going to have preseason with the team. I think we're going to see a lot less of him this year than people think.
Do you think he could have like a Vanderwater year sort of thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Vanderwater is going to be the starter like the entire season.
On the right?
Yeah. Or
really?
Left or right, wherever. Doesn't really matter. In my opinion, you can flip-flop wingers.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, we do it in games all the time.
So
Torres plays almost equally on the left and the right anyway.
So I think we will see Gaston, personally. I think we'll see him more than we saw Vanderwater. These clips from here on out I went through Union de Santa Fe's highlight clips, like 6 or 7 of them. And these are the moments within the highlight clips that involve Gaston Gonzalez. So these are just This isn't one game. This is just a bunch of different games where he had a part to play in the highlight clips. So I think this is him right here. Yeah, running in behind and then getting an assist.
That was pretty good.
And he, this is what I wanted to bring up in this clip, and I went back too far. Speaking of the Juan thing that you brought up on the right side, he gets into very similar areas that Juan gets in on the right, just on the left.
Yes, and then he's going to have to make good on them.
Yes. If he's even 20% better than what Juan does on the left or on the right,
he could be
then
dangerous.
he'll be good.
To me, his skill set is what I want in a fullback.
Gonzalez?
Honestly, yeah.
And like an overlapping fullback, yeah.
Yes. To me, as a winger, he kind of doesn't bring a complete game as much right now. Or at least compared to what our other wingers could and should be.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs a little bit of growing to do before he should be the every week starter.
Probably, yeah. He probably will. So this clip was, I just wanted to show the, oh, I went too far back.
To me, like a similar guy that we brought in is Araujo in terms of where he is in his development. I think Araujo is further along in his development than Gonzalez.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And Araujo is going to I think he'll get minutes, but he's got competition. And so does Gonzalez, and I think Gonzalez doesn't quite as well stack up to his competition as well as Araujo does right now. But I do think that Gonzalez, he obviously has very good physical attributes. His style of play can work in MLS. He needs to be developed as not as a crosser, but as a short and intermediate passer. And he needs to really develop in his tactical understanding and positional awareness of the game.
Yeah, definitely based on what you and I have seen here so far and what I saw in the game overall. You're right. You hit it spot on. He is a physical profile. He is not technical. Rajo, I would say, is more technical, but still has that physicality. Facundo's clearly technical versus physicality. This dude, look, he's got a great build for a 20-year-old, and he's only going to get stronger and he's only going to get faster. But yeah, he's not technically all there. He's got bad first touches. Some of his passes go straight out of bounds. When he's dribbling with people on him, the ball runs away from him and goes out of bounds. I mean, he's not fully put together, but I think his physical profile makes up for that, and his ability to put in a dangerous cross. But he's not full. Yeah, that's the weapon.
That's the weapon he's figured out how to use.
I think the best way we can use him to maximize his potential right now for this upcoming season is to get him up and down the left wing with through balls from Mauricio Pereira and flick-ons from Eric Chankara, and get him up and down that left wing to get crosses into the near and back post in that same space that Juan gets in.
I think he's going to be a good super sub, in my opinion. He, like his first season, you don't want to rely on him as a starter.
But I think we will see him as a starter because of his defensive work rate that Pareja values so highly. You know,
I don't think he beats out Van der Vaart right now. I don't see it. I straight up don't see it. But I'm not saying he can't in the future. I'm saying right now, Van der Vaart's got a year on him in MLS. He's in preseason with the team. He is having a good preseason by all reports out of camp. I think it's Van der Vaart's spot to lose, and then it's Benji Michel's spot to lose. Because there's only one spot there. We're being honest. I don't see him over either of those guys.
I personally, Adam, I don't see Van der Vaart on the left. I think he is mainly a right winger in Pareja's eyes, but I do think Van der Vaart is a good option to start, especially to start the season. I think it might be Facundo on the left and Van der Vaart on the right versus Facundo on the right and Benji on the left.
And Van der Vaart can play on the left. He just plays straight winger rather than inverted.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what this guy would do anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would rather have the more technical player, completely because of the style at which we want to play. I'd rather have a guy who's going to combine with Mauricio Pereira and create more and get the ball to our striker, which obviously Gonzalez can get the ball to a striker.
Mm-hmm.
But how often is he going to make a defense look silly with passing rather than, making
Just
a tough
past
run?
them? Yeah. So this is another example of him just sprinting forward but doesn't get the ball per se. I think his teammate fouls. And here he is after a broken bit of play with
That's a really good pass.
A really good pass to help them get a game-winning goal. So I think he puts in a free kick and it bounces out, or something happens, and the free kick was over here and he's standing over here, bounces out and finds a player.
Here's why I think he could be a good super sub is because he's fast, he's physical, he can cross, and he can score. He can do all four of those things, which are vital, and he can defend once we get that game-winning goal.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are vital end-of-game skills.
Yeah, that's him putting the pass in for the penalty award.
To me, his skill set, you got to think of when it is appropriate to use it, and to me, it's end-of-game situations, which, if you remember, Chris Mueller was like that for a while.
Yes.
And remember the Chicago game where we gave away at the last second and Chris is a part of that?
I would rather not remember that.
Do you remember after that game where Chris Mueller really took it to heart and was like, okay, this is never going to happen again, and then became like the best end of game player?
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a role that suits this guy pretty well, where he becomes that super sub and a guy that is an important part of the team without being relied upon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it very well could be. I think that's a good point. Here he is getting on that left side, cutting in, and then getting across in for an assist.
And if you think about it, all those attributes he shares with Chris Mueller, they're vital in those situations, and that's why Mueller's shown in those situations.
Mm-hmm. Now, then again, the nice thing is that you brought up there he is making that run on the left, doesn't get the ball.
He's way open.
Yeah. Should have gotten it. Here he is again, running from deep, running into the space, but just doesn't quite get it.
See, and that can be a game-winning goal right there.
Yeah.
If that's Pereira carrying the ball and he sees him left, that can be a game-winning goal.
Mm-hmm. That was him hitting the post there.
Or if we know that we're going to set up in a defending counter game,
he would be a starter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't like setting up that way, but if we know we have to do it for whatever reason, or just because it is tactically the right choice, then you start him.
Yeah. And I think
I'm not saying don't play him, just
yeah.
pick and choose where you play him. I think anyone expecting him to come in and be an every week starter this year is going to be disappointed.
Yeah, that very well could happen. This clip is not a good clip, actually, I think. Here he is running back to help out, puts some pressure, doesn't quite get there. It's only the 28th minute of the game and just kind of stops. And his marker gets a free shot on goal. So not great there, in all honesty. This is him winning a physical battle.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not worried about his strength.
No, not in the
at all.
No, let's not have him take free kicks. So
maybe not free kicks.
He's not like that.
Corners, I think he will be taking if he's on the field. I think he should. Almost every single corner he takes ends up getting on a header or getting to a teammate.
Yeah.
I think this is him scoring a goal, which is not an easy goal. I want to applaud this, actually.
That's a nice header.
He's backing up and still generates the power while falling backwards to head it forward. It's a pretty difficult piece of skill. It's not as easy as it looks. And then to get it in the corner past the goalkeeper. So that was pretty good. There he is with the corner again, getting the assist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the loop on this ball coming in. I mean, no other.
That's great.
Like, no one can clear that. And the way it dips down right to that point in the box, that's so dangerous. It's a good corner.
Yeah, you definitely have to utilize that ability if he's going to be on the pitch.
Yep. So that's just a bad touch there. Again, with the technique.
Which is this is now we're seeing what Rico and Muzi saw in him, which is the skills, the tools in his toolbox are there. He just doesn't know how to use all of them yet.
Yeah. Another dangerous cross in. I'm excited for those crosses, to be honest.
Yeah.
I am.
He's a very good kicker of the ball.
Yeah.
Which is it's an attribute I would say a lot of elite players have, actually. I would describe Harry Kane that way. Harry Kane is an elite kicker of the ball. And if you think about what that means, it means that their foot is a weapon, that they can use it to shape the different shots they want, the different passes they want, different crosses. That is an unteachable skill, and that's what he possesses, and that's what I like most about him.
Yeah. So that is it for the video. So let me stop sharing my screen here. So we already kind of dived into how we think he can be used tactically and how often he might be used from your viewpoint. What do you think he can grow into as a player in the next couple of years? You know, he's only 20. I think he'll be 21 by the time he joins us.
He is not a player that was going to go to Europe immediately. This is not a we stole one. Which is both good and not so good. The not so good is he's not ready. He's straight up not. But that means he's not going to leave us right away. He's going to be a guy that we're going to probably keep 3 or 4 years before he's ready to move on. And he's got some growing to do, but if he can continue to grow, then he can become a really, really, really good player. He might even become a more creative type of player. It all depends on how far his technical skill and technical prowess is going to evolve before he reaches that age where he is the player that he is.
Yeah. I'm really excited for him, in all honesty. I think he allows us to have a couple of different play styles of when it comes to, like you pointed out, sit, bunker, and counter. He would be an outlet so that when we do move forward on the counter attack, we have someone sprinting up the left wing to put in behind. So another idea to your super sub role is, okay, we're sitting back, we're winning 2-1, and then we sub him on for Benji. He's going to help out defensively. That's clear. He comes in and makes tackles throughout that highlight video that I showed. But also when we win the ball, the defense is going to have to respect the fact that he's just going to freaking take off.
Oh yeah, and he's absolutely going to relieve some of that pressure.
Yeah, I'm excited for his crossing ability as well, with a 6'4" striker up there and off of corners. And one of the things you and I talked about on the Facundo Torres video is that I want a good set piece taker for when Facundo Torres wins free kicks in the attacking third. And I think Gonzalez, when he's on the field, if he's not an out-and-out starter, maybe this doesn't really matter. But when he's on the field, he's got a good delivery into the box, and we can again take advantage of that.
I don't know that he's taking that spot from Pereira, though.
I guess that we'll see. They'll see on the training field who are they more comfortable taking it. Maybe they want a 6 foot tall physical presence in the box rather than taking.
I was going to say, I would rather have Gonzalez in the box as another header option than Pereira trying to find them, because God knows Pereira's not going to score.
No, not off a header. Have to be like
not at all. I think he has one goal for us that's not penalty.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm excited for what he could be for us. I think he will start games, but I think also he won't start every game. Going with what you're saying, but I do think he's in between, kind of like a Nani level importance and like a Vanderwater level importance. I think he's kind of somewhere in the mix there for me.
I think. Here's the thing.
Last season, Vanderwater.
Temper our expectations a little bit with all these new guys coming in. We all want to believe these guys are the best players ever, right? This is our best team ever. We're going to win the cup. 27 teams are going to be sorely disappointed.
Yes.
Or 26 if you count the Shield. Honestly, I'd be happy with just a Shield.
Oh yeah.
At this point. So 26 to 27 teams are going to be sorely disappointed this year. That's just the reality of it. And not every signing is going to go off, especially not immediately. This seems like the type of guy that's going to need a minute. So I would say if he has a Sylvester Vanderwater season, that is his success. I'm not saying bad. I'm saying that's a reasonable expectation for him to come in and get a few starts and have a few good moments and get used to the league, used to the country, used to his teammates, used to the coach, used to the tactics and everything.
And so he's coming in May, not now.
Yeah, and he's coming in the middle of the season. I think if he can do all that in his first season and have a few good moments, that is an A+ season. Maybe an A+. That's a B+ season. A+ season would be obviously becomes a regular player.
Yeah.
A B+ season is that just kind of you see why we got him, and he is going to you see when he will eventually make good on that promise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm looking for him for the season. I think that the less pressure we put on Gaston Gonzalez, the better, and the more he'll be able to shine.
Yeah. Now, going back to your first point there, we do need to temper expectations. I'll say right now, we're going to have a podcast previewing the entire season. Right now, I've got us, in my mind, finishing 4th.
I think it's reasonable.
I think we finished top 4. I don't think we finished 1st or 2nd. I think 3rd or 4th is our range. We've got a lot of new players. Luckily, we have our defense is the same, unless we sign a left back, but our defense is exactly the same for a couple of years that I'm happy with. Midfield, we've upgraded. We've taken Yuri out and put Araujo in. So I think that's good. But attack's going to need time to gel. And we've got Pereira and 3 new attackers. And then,
and now Kara coming back from injury.
Yeah. And Pato barely played, so you could kind of even say 4 new attackers. They played a little bit, but you could...
he did practice with the team.
Yeah, and in case you haven't seen it, I put up a This Is Why Orlando City Fans Are Excited for Pato in 2022 YouTube video. It's up on the channel right now. You can watch it after this one. You can kind of see the moments that Pato and his teammates are not totally on the same wavelength. So that's going to, hopefully that'll be that he's having a full preseason. That won't be there this season, but you never know.
I think Pato, while we're on the topic, is the biggest wild card for Orlando City in 2022.
I agree.
If he is healthy the entire season, and if he is anything close to what he used to be, he's a league winner. He's potentially the best player in the league. Orlando City players who have trained with Nani have said that like internally, Pato is the best player they've ever trained with.
Yep.
He could potentially be top 5 player in the league. Could. Not saying will. Please do not misconstrue me here. Not saying he will be. But that is his potential, and it is not totally out of the realm possibility. Now, if that happens, we could be in for a very good ride. Very fun ride. Yeah. And I am praying, begging for that to happen. We'll see. It you never know.
Yeah. And that's another thing with the Ercan Kara injury. Like if Pato does stay injury free and can lead the line for a couple weeks, because to start the season, if you look at the schedule, it is game, a week, and then game, and then a week. There's not a lot of midweek games. And this is something we're going to talk about in the season preview. We should probably get out of here. We're kind of going on. But the main thing is there's a lot of time in between games, almost all the way until like June, I think, before we have our first midweek game. So that's going to be another factor. How does Oscar Pareja rotate the squad and integrate players when they have a week off? He can do his starting lineup week in, week out. So obviously US Open Cup in there and yada yada, but we're not in Campeones, we're not in CCL, so it's going to be interesting.
Gaston Gonzalez can be a great Open Cup player.
2022 US Open Cup champs, baby.
Yeah.
Book it. All right, Adam, thank you so much. It's been a good discussion. Where can our listeners find you at?
You can find me at Kosher Taco Truck on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah.
And
come
Cappy's
yell at me.
Truck.
Yeah, oh yeah, and at Cappy's Food Truck, all one
Yeah.
word, also on Twitter and Instagram. Coming soon to a game day near you, hopefully.
Yes. Hopefully.
I'll have to check if I can announce when I can announce things, but keep your eyes peeled for stuff like that.
An Orlando City game day.
No, I was talking about the Magic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully some fun stuff.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys, for listening to us ramble on here at the end. We've gone 50 minutes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate the support.
We have
a
an
great
intern
week.
now.
We do have an intern. His name's Matthew. He's going to be writing for us this season.
He gets me coffee first, and then he drives to Gavin's house and he gets Gavin.
No coffee. He lives in Rhode Island.
It's a long drive.
Yeah.
And he has to get the coffee in Rhode Island and bring it in.
And keep it hot.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, yes. Welcome to the team, Matt. If you're watching, really excited to have him on board. And he's going to be writing for us all season long, doing a couple interviews. He's going to be on the podcast. It's going to be great. So yeah, he's at Matt Lab Lions, MATTLABLIONS. Thanks for bringing that up, Adam. All right. Have a good one, guys. Vamos Orlando.
Peace.
Spins right, comes back left, Nani shoots, oh my goodness, Louis Nani! Here goes Daryl DK at Wormhorn, DK shoots, scores! DK wins it for Orlando! The biggest man in MLS comes up huge!